Okay, so my introduction will be pretty short because this is the day that we actually allow each other to express oneself about your inspiration. That what is inspiring you today, or maybe in the last couple of days, or who knows what you found and that you like to share. So my introduction will be short in that sense. I think so, but you never know. Wait, I press a button. So here we go. So welcome to this Instrument of Truth class. And the Instrument of Truth class is a combination of, say, healing arts, of the work that inspires you, that what you read, what you encounter, what you discover, what comes to you, is the basis of what we do in the class here in class. So something is coming to you when you do this. When you're in, say, today, for instance, in day 23 of the Awakening Intensive, something is coming to you. You look for scripture, you look for inspiration, you look for reading something. I'm speaking for myself, of course I do, but it's like there is something that will come to you. It's inevitable. Since we're so into this, say the refreshment, the inspiration is in fact continuous. That can be day and night. And that's what I hear too from you, and so I'm really happy to hear that. It's amazing what the information that comes to me through you. So there are the ones that write emails to me, for instance, with really like, oh my God, I have to tell you my story about this and that. It's unbelievable what has occurred to me in this beautiful awakening. And so sweet to read that and to be part of the discovery. And so that I'm totally grateful for everything that you share. And that you cannot stop at sharing something like that. That's really lovely. That's really beautiful. This is what I love for myself too. It's like, oh, it's so great to be inspired and just be in that flow of expression and seeing that everything just falls right into place. Like there's a continuing something comes to you that is so perfectly falling into place for you, you have no idea. And that is so precious. That's so beautiful, and it is so part of you and your awakening. So that really touches me when I read that, what all of you write in that sense. So that really touches me because I recognize it for myself too. It's so great to have that, so to speak. To be in that flow of giving. And see, it doesn't necessarily have to be a positive or a negative story or a this or that story. No, it's like whatever happens is like you have to share it. You have to, give it away. And whether that's asking for more help than usual, whether that's sharing your awakening story, whether that's something that you discovered for yourself that you never heard before, or never felt like this before. So it's like you actually come in touch with something that really shifts inside of you, that in a way that you lose, in fact, your control mechanism of, oh, well, I'm not going to share that, or whatever the reservation may be. It's like, no, that's gone. You don't have to hold back at all. So that is really beautiful in the sense of awakening, sharing with one another, seeing that there's only one story going on. It is not personal any longer. It's like it's not personal what is going on, and it's at the same time totally personal. So that's a bit like the thing that's going on. So now I read something in A Course in Miracles in chapter 31, and that's the self-concept versus self. So it is about this. It's like there's continuously a shift going on. It is not staying the same. Like, especially not when you're so, say, focused on this, when you're so intensely, say, connected to this, then you see, oh my God, everything is shifting all the time, and that, it's like you destabilize for a moment. You get a little bit like out of whack for a moment, and then suddenly, oh yeah, there it is again. Oh yeah, all right. Whatever that was, I went through it, and it worked out. I'm still here. I'm doing great. And so that goes on and on and on, and that's so. I'm going to read a little bit of that description that is there. It's not a description, but it's a nice piece of text that is really so to the point at this time for me. That's why I ran into it, of course, to see the recognition, like, oh yeah, absolutely, I totally agree, I totally see that is occurring. So bear with me in that, please. So it's just a universal way of expression, in fact, over the changes that are occurring in your transformation. So, and this is also about ideas that you hold about yourself or about everything. And so it starts with this. It's on page 279 of the Urtext manuscripts. Self-concept versus self. You will make many concepts of the self with a small s as learning goes along. Like every time you think about yourself in a different way and think like, oh yeah, no, that's gone now. Well, I'm actually more this and this now. So these are still concepts about yourself. You will make many concepts of the self as learning goes along. Each one will show the changes in your own relationships as your perception of yourself changed. Each one will show the changes in your own relationships as your perception of yourself is changed. So the shift is not just a personal shift in thinking, but it has consequences in your relationships. So maybe you like to share something about that. Like, how's it going for you? How is it going with your relationships in this awakening, say, procedure? How is it going? Are there many changes because you literally are changing? You're in the process of a humongous change. And so that has consequences for everything, for your relationships and for all that, everything that you are related to. So it's really interesting. Like, it is not that you do some kind of course or something. You do a course in which you increase your intellect or your the depth of understanding of a certain subject. No, this is called a total involvement. Like, it completely takes you over in a very literal sense. So that's not just like doing this on the side. I'm doing this spiritual program, and as if that could be something on the side. Like, no, this has total involvement of you. It is taking your life over. And if you allow that, it's wonderful. If you resist it, it's going to be horrible. It's going to take a moment to get adjusted to it, which is okay too. There's nothing wrong with it. You will return back. If you cannot stand it for a moment, you will return back to it. But if you allow the change to occur to you and like, okay, well, I decided that I want to know who I truly am, and I don't care how that's going to look. So bring it on. Then it is a lot easier for yourself. But that's quite a step. So, but it's good to know it's not just doing this, because see, in the emails that I get, I see a lot of that too, in terms of like, I can still live my own life that I'm used to, right? I can still live that life. In fact, is that the question that they ask? Like, I can still live my own life, right? And it's like, no, actually, no, that's probably not the way it's going to be for you. No, this is a total change. It is a change where you are totally involved and everything with you. So, and that's not a threat. It's more like, no, this is the thing you will get used to, or you see that how well that works, and that it actually takes away so much, say, luggage that you carry, or so many ideas that you kept perpetuating or kept circling around that you actually didn't even like, but still kept on with it. So that's really true. Each one will show you the changes in your own relationships as your perception of yourself is changed. There will be some confusion every time there is a shift. So like I said, if you do this in an intense way, every day there's a bit of confusion going on. This is my discovery. But be you thankful that the learning of the world is loosening its grasp upon your mind. And be you sure and happy in the confidence that it will go at last and leave you your peace, leave your mind at peace. Very, very essential. So be sure and happy in the confidence that it will go. The learning of the mind, the learning of the world will go. It loosens its grip upon your mind. And be sure and happy in the confidence that it will go at last and leave your mind at peace. So your mind can just be open instead of concerned. It's like this is a human mind and this is an open mind. An open mind is able to receive. A closed mind is just pure strain, that's all. It's contraction. And be you sure and happy in the confidence that it will go at last and leave your mind at peace. The role of the accuser, the role of the accuser will appear in many places and in many forms, and each will seem to be accusing you. Oh, okay, maybe you like to share something about that too in this class. That would be lovely to hear some about that. So, are you being accused of something? But have no fear, it will not be undone. So that's a double negative. It's like, be not afraid that it will not be undone. The world can teach no images of you unless you want to learn them. So the world can teach no images of you unless you want to learn them. That means like any kind of description or limitation or definition of you, if you accept that, it becomes part of you. If you don't accept them and let them go, it doesn't have any effect. So that has quite an impact. I can talk more about that, but I will do that another time. There will come a time when images have all gone by, and you will see you know not what you are. There will come a time when images have all gone by, and you will see you know not what you are. That's an interesting sentence too. There will come a time when images have all gone by, and you will see you know not what you are. So it's not depending on the images anymore. So something else is going to be revealed to you then. It is to this unsealed and open mind, here it is, that the truth returns, unhindered and unbound. Where concepts of the self have been laid by, is truth revealed exactly as it is. Well, this is what we wanted to hear, right? When every concept has been raised to doubt and question, and have been recognized as made on no assumptions that would stand the light, then is the truth left free to enter into its sanctuary, clean and free of guilt. So, and this I used too in the video. It's like portal of uncertainty, because then the statement follows like I have no idea who I am, what I'm doing, or where I'm going. Like that kind of statement. In that is all, say, it's all knowing given to you. And so this is interesting because it's like this is how far that goes, and you have no idea how much you are connected to the thinking of the world until you enter into this process. And you know this by now. When you follow these classes, when you read more about it, it's like you discover how much and into every detail you're just completely, say, related to a limited definition of yourself. And you accept that continuously. Otherwise it wouldn't come to you. Otherwise it wouldn't be in conflict in your mind. So that's why we continue on this path and stay with this, stay with our practice. And that is sufficient to let a shift occur that might confuse you for a moment, but at least it's a good change. You know, it's like be happy that it happens, and don't worry about your confusion. That's perfectly all right. So you see, the activity of mind as we know it as a human being, like the activity of mind is not actually not helpful for you to come to know who you are. Your evaluation of yourself is not helpful, because who's evaluating who? So coming from a limited perspective, looking through those glasses and seeing like, oh my God, what am I doing? Is not going to give you a lot of information. So there are different ways. So one of them is then the miracle, as we discovered yesterday, and revelation. So the miracle coming from your subconscious and bringing you to your consciousness the awareness that you're completely connected to your brother in the recognition of source. And revelation coming from the other side, so to speak, from your say above consciousness, coming from out of time, as I mention it a lot. It's like it comes from out of time, out of the frame of reference as a human being, out of your consciousness as you function in the world. So this is coming literally like as a direct communication with your creator. That is going to be like the real speed up in your process. The miracle and revelation, having glimpses of light, having glimpses of communication, of, oh my God, I love God so much, I forgot about it. I'm so happy to stand still and experience that, or open myself up to stillness, to have something occur, to slow my mind down sufficiently that something else can happen, so that I'm not preoccupied with limited ideas that kept circling around in the last 20 years. But no, there's a silence, and as if the storm is over, coming into a very quiet spot inside yourself, where suddenly the sun starts to shine, and you feel the clouds lifting up, and you come into a direct communication. So this is very well possible if you allow yourself to slow down and to undergo this process. That might confuse the heck out of you, or it might be totally overwhelming, or it might increase your desire to emotionally release, or to cry, or to laugh, or to who knows what happens. It really doesn't matter. But at least something is changing, is shifting. Yeah, so I get these messages from you. You send them to me, that is happening, and I'm really happy to hear that and to really see that. Okay, you're in the middle of the process. Great. Well, there's great support. You're doing really great. You're doing fine. That's really wonderful. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just trust that. Trust that. Stay with that. All right. Well, thank you so much. So this is the introduction to the class. And so the rest then is up to you in class online. And that is a possibility. So I'll say it very specific. So a possibility, listen well to this, like it's a possibility not to speak and say extend yourself as you're used to, say coming from your human perspective in associative thinking, like thinking about this and about that and coming from that and da. No, but this is it's like an invitation to start opening your mouth and start to speak and start to share. And everything that you want to say convey will happen anyway. It will happen. Maybe not by the use of the words that you are used to, but it will come out for you. It will be expressed. And if nothing comes for a moment, then you just be quiet. It's okay. We are okay with silence now. It's like it doesn't matter. So stay right there. And so in the ones that are in class, I'm going to invite you with questions or with words that I share. I'm inviting you to stay literally on that spot where you start to extend yourself. And not telling a story, not doing that. No, it's like keeping your inspiration close to your heart and start expressing. That sounds maybe difficult, but it's actually natural for you. Once you start talking, it mostly takes over, whether you're aware of it or not. So don't make it difficult for yourself. Feel free to express yourself the way that you feel that you can express yourself, and totally trust that. So, all right, thank you so much. So I'm continuing.